more or less, yes, pass muster. So I just have a few questions with Mylene. Mylene, why do you want to be a citizen?
The Philippines is my home. I grew up here. I've lived here.
How long have you, when you say you grew up here, how long have you been here?
My parents moved here permanently in the 70s, so I moved here when I
But
was
they're not
less than.
citizens, right?
No, not yet.
All right. And all your life you've been here?
Yes, except for when I went to university and worked for a few years in the US and then
Mm-hmm.
returned here shortly after.
It's surprising, though, that you have not picked up the language. Although that the requirement is for you to be able to speak English at least. But it would have been nice, easier if I spoke Filipino. Do you understand some Filipino languages?
A little bit, some.
Like, maganda ba yung katabi mo?
Yes.
Sino? Are you guessing?
I, I am guessing a little bit.
Don't guess.
Yeah.
I was saying maganda refers to a woman, and I don't think, although he wears a cassock sometimes, Father Mazana is not a woman. So I would have said magandang lalaki or guapo, which is Hispanic. But nonetheless, again, you say this is our home, this is your home. What does that mean to be your home? I love my home, my native land. Philippines, my Philippines. That's what we used to sing when we were kids, not too very long ago.
This is my home. Our family is fully invested here, both in term, everything is here, both financially and emotionally.
And you don't have any
Right.
other investments abroad or any other, a reason why, in case push comes to shove in this country, you can leave the country and go to the U.S. or where in the U.S. did you study again?
I went to Massachusetts Institute of
Yes,
Technology,
that's very, very impressive. Where you took up what?
mechanical engineering.
And you have not used mechanical engineering for the greater glory of God and the country.
I do use my engineering background. It comes in handy in the
Mhm.
work that I do today.
But you're principally a housewife.
No, I work for the paper manufacturing business.
Paper
That
manufacturer.
my-
With whom?
My father was one of the founders back in the 80s. He
Of what
founded.
company?
It's called TIPCO Trust International Paper Corporation
And where is that located? The
in Mabalacat, Pampanga.
Aha. I understand that the Inquirer also has a paper company there. Is that the same?
Um, the Inquirer is now related to Bataan 2020. They
Oh,
have
they
their
moved already.
own. Sorry?
They moved. They pick up stakes and they moved to Bataan.
Yes, they used to be we were they used to be our shareholders. We used to be together in the paper manufacturing business as well, but over the years, the shareholder, they've separated from the group.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have one brother and one sister.
And are they planning to become citizens as well?
My sister is in the U.S., so
Studying?
no, she's settled. Her husband is
American.
American, so
Uh-huh.
they've settled in the U.S. But my brother is here. He's also back in the Philippines,
From
from the U.S. as well.
specifically.
We were all so he's from he came from California.
And where did they go to school?
He went to Stanford University.
Stanford. You go to good schools, and certainly the country can use the education that you have utilized. Have you ever thought of using it for the country? Should you become a citizen?
That's what we're trying to do, and that was the hope.
But mainly for business, right?
But also to bring the technology back here. We had a very privileged and opportune life here. Having grown up here, it afforded us the ability to have a great education and be able to, see the world and go to the U.S. and
So when
study.
you say the
and-
Philippines is home, the Philippines has been very good to you.
Yes, and the people have, I love the country. I love the people. Certainly, the people that I've had the privilege to interact with. Our family has been in the paper manufacturing business for the last 40 years, and many of our employees have, and the people that I work with we've been together for decades.
Do you interact with your employees?
Yes,
What is your role in the company?
I'm the CEO.
CEO.
Yes.
Have you ever had any strike in your company?
No. So that's
And-
something actually that we've worked really hard on. And when we first started the company, our company is called Trust International Paper Corporation. And when we first started, everybody was laughing a little bit because why would we name a company called Trust and has nothing to do with paper at all? But that was very deliberate on the part of our founders because we wanted to develop a company, or they wanted to build a company that was rooted in the fundamental philosophy of trust. Trust between management and employees, community and company, supplier,
what has the
customer.
company contributed by way of the economy of this country?
So TIPCO itself, the paper manufacturing itself, employs full-time about 500 direct hires, and with its affiliates and the group, maybe about 1,000 direct hires.
1,000 or 500?
500 for the TIPCO paper manufacturing
For
itself.
the, excuse me, for the?
For the paper manufacturing of TIPCO itself.
Uh-huh.
And we have some
TIPCO.
affiliated. TIPCO is Trust International Paper Corporation.
Okay, all right.
So we are the first and only domestic newsprint manufacturer that is capable of delivering high enough quality newsprint to export to the Times of India, Singapore Straits Times, OPG, most of the big multinational broadsheets across Southeast Asia. We also supply
You
Star.
supply Singapore Times.
We used to supply about 25% of Singapore Straits Times requirement, and they were the most difficult customer because their quality standards were so high. And so from a technical perspective, we had to really learn how to make high quality paper using
How many Filipino executives are running the company with you?
all of them, with the exception of my father and I. We are the only two foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the whole idea is hopefully we can. I'd like not to change that.
Should you
status.
become a Filipino citizen, what do you intend to do by way of contribution?
Well, the whole idea of coming back was really to be of service. I feel that it is my duty and responsibility to try and give back the best way that I know how to a country and to a people that have given me so much. And the best way that I feel that I can be of service is through the business platform, by hopefully creating more jobs or helping the people, in our community develop their own entrepreneurial ventures.
Your
And
husband is an American or British?
my husband is British.
British. And if he picks up stakes, are you going to go with him?
If he picks up stakes,
If he leaves the country and goes to another country,
my husband loves the Philippines as well. He's
then
been
why
here.
is he not applying for Filipino citizenship if he loves the country?
Um,
Oops.
It has. Sorry, the process when I started applying was a couple years ago, and I think the minimum requirement is 10 years of living here. So I applied first, and
How long has he been here?
now it's been about 10 years for
And
him.
you
so
said 2 kids or how
I
many
have
ki-
3 children.
3 children, and all of them
Yes.
are studying in British school.
Yes.
How come he never thought of sending them to Ateneo or San Agustin right there? I mean, I think he's going to ready to give you a good scholarship.
Well,
Don't you think they should be, when I became mayor, I could have sent them to my kids to Ateneo, but I thought I'm better off sending them to the public school, to the, not the public school, but more or less a school which is not very, very extremely high standard or even high standard as far as I'm concerned. But I thought it would be better for them to know how the other side of the world lives, having been fortunate enough to be educated in the best schools. I thought that part of their education should to know the folks there. And I think they have been very well grounded. I thought that was a good move on our part, although, of course, their classmates, are are well heeled when they went to Ateneo or UP. They all went to Ateneo later on and to another school. But in other words, don't you think that you should have exposed them to as a budding Filipino citizen, that you should expose them at least to the kind of Filipino neighborhood or the Filipino, common tao, as we used to call them when we were at Ateneo?
In different ways, but to the point about education, one of the decisions, which doesn't explain everything, but one of the major decisions why we sent them to British school was at the time the British school took the children at a very young age, at 3 years old. And it was difficult to find other schools that would
But
take
how
them.
old are they now? Are they in college?
No, the eldest is 11. But then once they were in the British school, so for example, my son, they settled in very well. And, for example, my son has some special requirements, which the school has been very good to work with him.
He's a special
And-
child.
He has occupational therapy,
Yeah.
a little bit of special
Attention required, yeah.
attention required, and by the time
Well, I
we got
understand
to
that, but for the others, I mean, I'd imagine that it would be good to. Do they know the language?
a little bit. They certainly know it better than I do.
Mhm.
That's something that I can't change my upbringing, and I can't change the history, but certainly for my children, that's an effort that we're trying to put into.
I'm trying to see the put back to the country by your applying for citizenship. What is the put back insofar as you're concerned? What is the it's not a transaction, but at least we want to get some intention of contribution, not materially, but at least in terms of perhaps engaging in civic affairs or humanitarian work, or generating more investment so people can get better jobs, etc.
So that's something that we've worked very hard in, and as I had mentioned, everything we've put in everything that we have into this country, both in terms of investment financially as well as emotionally. And the platform that I know best how to service or give back is through the work and through business. And if we can be successful at
Yes. Yeah. See. I'm sorry, I didn't get your last part.
So the way that I think that I can best be of service to the country.
Excuse me. Yes, I'm sorry.
is through business and helping other people generate jobs, more employment. So since I've come back, we've been working pretty hard to improve the paper operations. It's quite a challenging industry, but the paper operations, TIPCO, has employed 500 full-time employees, and then on the peripheral suppliers and so forth, we employ thousands of other families. So for example, one of the programs that I've implemented is working really hard to partner with individuals, including our employees' relatives and their friends and so forth, to set up waste paper collection businesses, small businesses that the individuals can run, and then we guarantee them the market, and we teach them how to operate. We provide capital, we provide equipment, we provide training so that they can run their individual businesses and have their own source of livelihood.
Yes,
we've
your
done-
factory is in Pampanga, right? Mabalacat?
Mhm.
And you know the mayor there.
Yes, the current mayor is a new mayor, but the one mayor, Chris Garbo, but prior to that, we had worked very closely also with Mayor Morales,
Booker.
Booking Morales. yes.
Booking, no? Why is he called Booking?
I
I
don't know,
don't
that's a
think
good
it's very
question.
Yeah, I don't think he's an erudite reader. You're going to stretch the word booking. But why is it called booking, if you know?
I don't know.
Do you
It's-
spend time in the factory?
I do.
How often?
At least once or twice a week. I
And
go back
twice a
there.
week is sufficient to interact with your employees?
So I go there twice, at least once or twice a week, and then and then they also come to Makati. We have a headquarters here in Makati that they
And how
also
many are
come.
employed in your office in Makati? How many
Uh,
people are employed, and where is it located?
About 60 people
60 people.
in Legazpi
Is
Village.
this a marketing thing, or
Sales and marketing is there.
so you export the paper that you produce, right?
We used to export about 70 or 80% of our product.
And in terms of
Um,
dollars coming in, because we do have a very bad balance of trade right now, how much do you put in by way of dollars coming in the company anyway?
Our annual sales is about 4 billion pesos.
And your dollar sales are
Our dollar sales, I'll have to check. We
30%, 40%, 30%?
it used to be about 70 or 80%.
That's a
Now
lot.
it's getting a little bit less because the paper industry is getting increasingly more competitive, and we've decided to also focus on the domestic market.
What is the
to
future
supply.
of your industry then, considering that a lot of the industries are, especially on media,
Mhm.
even in education, they're going on digital.
Sure.
So what do you think is going to happen to your industry?
So
And
one
how
of
do
the
you intend
things
to adjust?
one of the things that we've had to do is learn how to diversify. So newsprint used to be our main product, but over the years, and the last 10 years, and that's been something that I've pushed the team to really initiate and figure out, is how to diversify in terms of adjacent grades of paper. So today, we're proud to say that we can also produce printing and writing paper and packaging grades. So we produce all different grades of paper. And the trend these days, it seems like with the change of shopping habits, with Amazon and so forth, packaging material is a growing market. Boxes, paper bags.
When I had Reebok and Subic, my problem was I could not get suppliers. I could not get the downstream industries.
Mm-hmm.
Do not touch my microphone. Thank you. Go ahead.
So now we're able to do that, and we can, so our customers, we make the big jumbo rolls, and then our customers are the ones who turn those into boxes.
Are you making packages now?
We make the paper for we make the packaging material, and then our customers are we call them
Which
converters.
companies, for an example?
That convert.
Sorry?
Our customers are the converters, so they are the ones that take our paper and then turn
Which
them
one?
into the boxes.
Sorry, I didn't get the
Our
name.
company makes the jumbo rolls of packaging materials.
Yes,
and our
I heard that.
customers-
But who buys them?
Eventually,
companies in the Philippines?
downstream, for example, San Miguel gets boxes from us. Those are paper
Which
used
is your
from.
biggest company that buys your paper for packaging?
For packaging, it's probably a company called. It's not known. It's Triple Star, or Lamco, or.
What's Triple
Consol.
Star involved in?
They make boxes, and they.
Coffin boxes or packaging
sorry.
boxes? Boxes could be many things,
They make packaging boxes.
For
they
what?
also
For
do.
what product?
They sell to like SM. They sell to National. We also make paper bags and envelopes. Rustan Supermarket,
Is your
Landmark
paper
Supermarket.
environmentally friendly, for example?
Our paper is made from 100% recycled paper.
Recycled paper.
Recycled paper.
So the paper that you produce is completely recycled, no
Completely
longer
re-
from trees cut legally or
longer.
illegally.
That's right. It's post-consumer recycled, because sometimes when they say recycled paper, we can recycle pulp and so forth. But ours is 100% post-consumer recycled paper, and so we work very closely with
So
the
that's a
community.
value added. You produce
Yes.
paper that's friendly to the environment. I mean,
Yes.
and you're getting waste products. Is that it?
Yes. So
From
we
whom? How big a percentage of your company relies on waste packages or waste products?
100% is collected.
100%. And what
Yes.
is the distribution, layout?
So
How
we
do you get it? The supply layout.
so we try to get as much as we can locally.
And who
Um,
produces that locally? Who supplies you? The cargadores, the cariton, the
Yes, the small junk shops, the push cart boys, those small businesses,
you
and
must
we
have an awful lot of distribution network, where you get the products from these people.
yes, it's a very
How many people are involved?
so
Are you sure
hundreds
now?
thousands.
Are you sure? Because certainly individuals supplying your paper, which produces an awful lot of packages, will mean thousands and thousands of people
Yes.
producing all this waste paper.
Yes. So we rely a lot on what they call consolidators. So these are the Philippine market is highly fragmented, both in terms of the market as well as the supply chain as far as paper goes. So in terms of the collection, the bigger
You
volume.
don't actually collect. You rely on agents that collect for you. That's the supply chain, is it?
We do everything. So we rely
you
on
do everything.
agents.
Yeah.
We rely on agents who collect because we need the big volume. So these agents are buying from smaller and smaller. They're consolidating. But we have also kicked off a program to try and help individuals on their livelihood program, where we work with individuals to help them develop their own small businesses in collecting.
And what is the impact of that? The carryover impact on employment in the country?
I think
No, I'm sure you don't think about it. You know it. You
Yes.
should know it.
so we
I
do.
would be disappointed if an MIT graduate running a paper company doesn't know the economic impact. When I was practicing law, when I had pollution problems, I would always ask, what is your economic impact?
Sure.
So that if somebody's running after you, you'll say, oh, I have people who are producing for us, Filipinos are benefited from this, etc., etc. Don't you know?
I do know. So we
Uh-huh.
do have, we directly impact, we work with several hundreds of small junk shops. Some of them we've partnered that were existing and we've helped them grow. We've provided them additional capital.
And you pick up the paper by your own vehicles.
By some by our own vehicles, some of them we allow them, we provide them a truck, and then they pay us back by way of delivering paper.
And how many trucks are involved in this operation?
Our own trucks.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Sure.
Figure out how you're able to help the economy.
Sure. I mean, there are hundreds of individual families
I'd
that.
imagine somebody applying for citizenship will say, oh, I impact in the economy. I have about 200 trucks, 200 Filipino drivers work for us round the clock. And certainly, apart from that, the drivers are supported by so many people in cargadores who are, going and picking up paper everywhere. Is that the way the business is run?
Yes, essentially.
And how many people? What is the impact of that? How many people are reliant on your industry? Because I worry about the paper industry, considering that
Yeah.
it's going to be digital. About a few years ago, I was saying that the education in this country should start using Kindle, and now they're using iPads. I'm glad that they finally listened. But so what happens to the paper industry? I'm trying to get out of reading books out of paperbacks or hardbound. I'm trying to get into the new Kindle. I think they call it Fire or something like that. But I haven't got quite pushed myself to do it yet because I have a lot of backlog. But I mean, in your case, what is your prediction? Are you going to be doing that? Are you going to be engaging in what are you going to do when they don't use paper anymore?
The landscape is certainly changing. What we've seen is that newsprint and printing and writing are shrinking in
Yeah.
terms of market size.
I saw that the paper in New York, Newsday, fired half of their employees. And in the front page of a newspaper today, I think a couple of people, a photographer and a reporter from New York, were crying because they've lost their jobs. Obviously, the social media has impacted on their paper business, and many of the papers are going to social media using digital technology. So, what is your prognosis?
I think newsprint and printing and writing have plateaued. In the Philippines, newsprint is a little bit different because not only is it used in the broadsheets, it's also being used for notebooks, which hasn't entirely gone away, but we have seen a shrinkage. But where there is growth is in packaging grades.
You don't
for
actually
sure.
produce notebooks, do you?
We don't.
You
For
supply
example,
National Bookstore with the paper to produce notebooks. Is that it?
we supply the converters with the paper. Like, for example, this notebook, this is our paper. And so our customer is the one who has sheeted it and printed the lines and made it into a notebook. This envelope is also our paper. So the packaging grades, there still is a future, and with the shifting in the trend of consumer behavior and buying, more online purchases, we've seen that even in the Philippines, that has increased. So packaging looks promising. There's also been a shift in the country, ban from plastics to paper. So in the supermarkets and in retail outlets, they're no longer allowed to use plastics, it's paper. And a lot of that paper bags, for example, in Rustan's, Landmark, Shoe Mart, that comes from our paper. So we've been able to supply the domestic market with the products that it needs so that it doesn't have to import. Paper is, it's a very capital intensive industry where the investment is very big and the return takes a long time. So we have no choice but to make it work. And when I said that we're heavily invested here, I mean that we have nowhere to go. Everything our family has put is here and locked to the ground here. So we're very invested from a financial perspective, but also emotional. The people, as I had said, my father started to
But obviously, just mere investment in the country doesn't entitle anybody for citizenship. Otherwise,
No,
we'll
of
be
course
giving
not.
citizenship to everybody who's heavily invested here.
Of course.
What I'd like to see is some way upon which you could show that when you say you owe the country a lot, what is the contribution? What is the payback?
So in addition to the
For
jobs,
example, Julian Manzana, who's a Filipino, who's a Spanish individual, has been here for the last 28 years, never gotten married, unlike other priests. Among the Jesuits, a lot of them have gotten married, but he's learned to speak the language, and he's going to contribute. I don't know if he's making political promises here. He's going to try to convert some of the books written by the Recoletos, right? What are you? Agustinian. I'm sorry. Recoletos is the illegitimate son of the Agustinians. Would you put it that way? The brother. Okay, or brother. So, what is the payback? The putback?
to jobs. We also do education and training programs, mentoring. The paper manufacturing technology and process itself is very difficult, so we do bring in the engineering training for our people because that expertise is not readily available here. So we do a lot of technical training. We also do a lot of management training and people training.
If you were a citizen of this country already, what is your take on what happened the other day in our Congress? The sudden change that suddenly happened, somebody from where your company is located suddenly became a Speaker of the House. And the free speaker was taken out at the time of when they were supposed to focus on the State of the Nation address. Many Filipinos are evenly divided. They're chagrined. Some are happy, some are not happy. What is your take? Or maybe I'll give you an easier question. What is your take on what is going on in terms of peace and order in this country?
That's a difficult question. I'm not sure
No, it's
that
not.
I'm.
you have children and you want to make sure that your children are raised properly, that you would have free from drugs, etc.
So one of the things that we always
What do
tell
you think of the statement of the president saying, some of you like human rights, but I'm involved with human lives? Or words to that effect. I was asked that question this morning.
One of the things that we always tell foreign investors is because the Philippines doesn't have the best reputation as far as safety internationally. And one of the things that we're trying to work hard is to bring
Really?
in.
We don't have the best reputation in safety. Shall I tell you about Chicago?
Well, and
That's the
so.
crime capital of the United States. They have
Well-
killings there every day.
Well,
We
that's,
don't have people being shot in schools here.
well, that's right. And so that's
Uh,
part of the message that we try to tell.
I'm just
and-
trying to save you from perdition because you just
Right.
said we don't have the sordid reputation. Try to be on the good side of the country.
And I am on the good side of the country,
All right.
and that is some of the things that we hear when we have international investors who are thinking about building their manufacturing plants here. That
Have you ever invited one?
yes,
You know, I brought in a lot of investments in Subic Bay.
yes, yes,
You know,
yes. It's very impressive what you've been able
I'm
to
not
do
asking
there.
for a pat at the back. I found it very difficult because you just had Pinatubo right in my backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and we were swollen with lahar. And Pampanga also had problems
Yes,
because nobody took over right away. And like Subic, we prepared for it.
yes.
And so when people came in, they would ask us, well, how can our investments be safe? How would you answer that?
So I address that quite frequently because I'm also a director of an industrial park that operates and manages.
So you have an industrial park.
There is an industrial park of which I'm a director.
Do you own it or are you a director?
I'm a director, so,
So you
we're
have shares
more.
in it?
I personally don't have any shares in
So what are you, an independent director or
it. My responsibilities are in marketing and operating the
what is that
industrial
industrial
park.
park?
It's called Teco Industrial Park in Pampanga, of which TIPCO, the paper manufacturing company, is located inside.
Oh, inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, and that's part of the
But you
thing
get
that we're trying.
incentives, right?
Sorry?
You get incentives.
Yes, it's a PESA registered industrial park.
PESA.
PESA. So the,
And supposing now Sunny Dominguez says his way and says, we will take out the incentives in that park, what would you say? Because that is being
Yes.
brooded about.
Yes.
And what is your take on that?
I think the incentives are important to attract foreign investment
What is your
to come in.
Cassandra's, thought on that matter?
Sorry, I'm not
will,
familiar
will
with
it,
that.
Will it take away jobs?
I think the companies that are thinking about investing or that are currently here are concerned about it because one of the prime reasons for them deciding to locate in the Philippines had to do with those incentives. And part of the economics of how they made the decision to come to the Philippines. But
What about your company?
Yes.
You'll be affected. I mean, you cannot, you'll have to pay VAT now when you buy things and when you sell things.
Mhm.
How will that affect you?
As I had mentioned before, a bigger part of our market share is now being more and more focused on the domestic market. So we do that
Well, that's
already.
precisely. They won't let you sell to the domestic market because you're a tax-free haven.
Oh no, we have to pay taxes on our
And
domestic
you're willing to
sales.
pay VAT?
Yes, we do that already on our domestic sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Others say, why should I pay VAT when I can go to Vietnam and there are no restrictions there? If I put it in Vietnam, we can sell directly to the Philippines without having to pay VAT. Did you think about that? Because that's an argument.
For the multinationals to go
Any
to
company.
any company to
Yeah.
place its manufacturing
Because it's
facility
hard for
in
you
the-
people to sell to the local market. Maybe for you it's easier because it's a mass thing, but for others, they cannot sell to the Philippines without having to pay a certain amount of VAT, and that's why they say it would be easier for us to go to Vietnam and take advantage of the free trade association between Vietnam and the Philippines.
That's a risk if the incentives are taken away. But in the last 6 or 7 years, we've been able to attract 6 multinationals to build their manufacturing facilities in our industrial park. One of them is Molex. It's a cable manufacturing company, so it's involved in electronics. It's one of the biggest companies in the U.S. that make cables and connectors and products. One of the biggest companies that we've probably never heard of because they make components, so they don't have the end retail brand. But their focus is on export market. They've been quite successful here, so they're looking at expanding to a phase 2. We've had a couple
That's
of
your final
Japanese.
question. Why should the committee grant you your request? That we bring your request to the floor of the Senate and say, here is Mylene Ting, and we want to give him citizenship. Why? What should I say to them? I will be sponsoring it on the floor.
Sure.
Or would you rather think about it for the next hearing?
No, I think I can answer.
I have to be convinced, you know.
Yes.
I am not going to sponsor it if I'm not convinced.
I think, and I hope that in your assessment, after you look at what I've done and what I've accomplished, that you will find that I'm a net positive contributor to the country, to the community, in terms of building jobs, building capabilities, bringing in technology, training, investment,
It's a company that
mentoring.
your father set up, and he was not a Filipino citizen. Now, if you're
That's
going to
right.
be a Filipino citizen, you're going to have to have the animal,
Mhm.
the heart, the spirit to try and get more jobs here.
Mhm.
I would say that if I were applying for citizenship,
Mhm.
I'd say I do a lot more because now my stake is here.
Mhm.
I've chosen my citizenship. You know, my father, I've always been proud of him because he chose to be a Filipino. Many of my friends go to America and they like to be an American citizen. And you know, it's not easy to be an American citizen either. Even to get into America sometimes it's so difficult, or other countries. But it's important to me that when you elect Filipino citizenship, it's because indeed you love the country, that you want to stay here, that you want to grow with the country, grow the country as well, and stuff like that. So that
Yeah.
when I go there, the question that will be asked, you know, it's easy here. In fact, very few of them are coming here. But when you go there, that's going to be a war out there.
Mhm. Um, I think.
And I'm exaggerating, of course.
Sure.
There will be people who will be taking pot shots at me and saying, "Oh, did you really pass judgment on this lady? Is she really fit and proper to be a Filipino citizen?"
Mhm. For me, this is a choice, for sure, that I've made to come back here. And as I had said, my heart is in the country. My love for the country and the people are here. And you know, whether or not
You know, when you
I'm.
say "I love you" to somebody, it's easy. You know, a lot of girls tell me "I love you," and they don't really love me. They just, or you know, there are things like that. You know, people say that. Di ba, Meng? They say that. In UP, there are many Lotharios who say "I love you," but you know, easy to say "I love you," but you gotta show it in some
Sure.
form.
And I hope that you can see that, because by way of
trying to.
action, manufacturing is very difficult. It's something that you have to put your heart, your soul, perseverance in making it
You
happen.
know, I like your qualifications. You're an MIT graduate. But I've got to see that MIT diploma, mechanical engineering, which is very hard to come by, be put to good use by way of, you know, seeing that, oh, I intend to send my kids to learn the Filipino culture, the Filipino language, so that they will really love the country. I have not seen that, quite frankly. And that's what I want you to show and tell me. Not lose heart. I know you want to be a Filipino, but I want to see that so that I can defend it there. It's no point, I say, yes, you can go, but when I get there, I can't defend you. And of course, you can always lobby with every senator here, and I'm sure you can get some lobbying done, but I mean,
By way of action, I've shown it in the best way that I know how, by putting the effort not only in terms of financial investment, but also in terms of effort and energy into building our group of people. and
Father,
our
marunong ka ba
housing.
mag-Tagalog? Yes, Father Mazana. Speak up, please, on the microphone.
Konti lang.
Is that because you were forced to learn the language? Marunong ka mag-Tagalog because kailangan magsalita ka, di ba?
Yeah, so you need to practice with the people that
No,
you're-
speak to me in Tagalog.
So, konti lang. Mahirap na.
Pare, talagang gano'n. See, again, an attitude is something that mahirap, pero kung talagang
Pero,
masarap, masakit ang umibig, di ba?
pero
Mahirap ang
konti lang.
umibig, di ba?
Nahihiya ko po.
Ha?
Nahihiya po ako.
Ay, hindi, dapat walang yaka. Masama yung walang modo. Ah,
You know?
I teach that, Father.
Um,
You know, the Spanish taught us, walang ya, sinvergüenza.
Sim-
Literally, it means walang ya. When they actually mean, walang modo, you have no manners.
that's right.
Walang hiya to me is good.
Mhm.
They are not afraid of who they are. That's Filipino.
Opo.
I'm a Filipino. I'm Manny Pacquiao. I can beat anybody in the world so long as I work hard and do my skills. I can work anywhere in the United States or even in Europe or everywhere else and hold my own. And I will be aggressive. I will be assertive.
Opo.
Walang iya ako.
No.
Alright?
Walang nahihiya ko.
Ah?
Walang nahihiya ko.
Yun, no. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of course,
Yes.
I'm saying more in English.
Yes.
So to me, that's culture, right? That's what I'm after here. You got to show that, and I'm trying to convince myself
Sure.
to see my way clear, and that
I-
when I go out there, I don't sponsor something I can't defend.
Language is one thing, and I know.
Oh, that's only one aspect.
Sorry.
That's only one aspect.
Yes.
I said culture, not language.
Well,
Yes, I corrected-
language is
I
one
corrected the good
aspect of.
Father there when he said, nahihiya ako. Di ka dapat mahiya. I don't think you're mahiyain. Are you mahiyain?
Is that shy?
I don't know. What do you think?
Yes, I think that's what it means.
Okay, if that's what it means. Are you?
Yes.
No, you're not.
I
You think you're going to pass Massachusetts Institute of Technology, go through all those difficult professors if you're mahiyain? You've had to assert yourself, didn't you? You've had to be ready every recitation, every exam. Right? In UP, in law school, they ate us, they had us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then they spat it out. They didn't teach us to be mahiyain.
it
Maria Clara is the model of pulchritude, but it didn't get her anywhere. As you did, you got somewhere. You got an MIT diploma. If I were to go by what the Spanish taught me again, oh, nice title. Don, Doña, Señorito, Señorita. That's culture. Doesn't matter to me whether you're rich. What matters to me is the kind of person you are. What's in your soul? The diwa. Lakas diwa is what we call it. Would you like to give some time to yourself and figure that? I think the orientation is somewhat severe. People come in here and say, oh, I can contribute. I have investments here and all that. But I want you to extricate yourself from that. Investments are easy. All right? I never found it difficult to attract investments in this country, quite frankly. All you have to do is be firm, fair, and make sure that there's no corruption and that what you tell them, you promise them, they get it. But we're not going to allow ourselves to be exploited. That's why I was asking you, are you good to your employees? Did you have any strikes? That's a point for you. But then that's your father's corporation.
it's true. It's my father's corporation that he
We're all
founded.
children of our fathers, aren't we? I didn't interfere in my father's business.
I hope I'm not interfering. I hope I'm helping and being a productive
you. not teaching that.
contributor.
I'm not teaching that. But I'm just saying, find out again, Look at the soul. Again, I ask you, why, how can I convince my fellow senators to say, Mylene Ting, is a thing of beauty. It endures. It lasts forever. It will never, never lose its luster. Like that poem, thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. Father, do you know who wrote that? No, that's English literature. You don't know Spanish literature. I'm just panning on Ting. So, Miss Ting, can you tell me why we should bring you out there? I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything.
Sure.
Just trying to get us convinced in the committee. When we go out there, we can defend it. Don't look at me, guys.
I'm not sure how better to say it, Chairman, but I do love the country and my work.
Let me
and
put it this way. If
my
somebody were to apply for American citizenship, would it be this easy going to the Congress of the United States? It should be the hardest way to get citizenship. Because you can go to court, you can afford it. Administratively, maybe you can do that. But to go to the Congress, you have to go through, you just went through the lower house. They passed it. That's good for you. Now it's the upper house. It's supposed to be the senior house.
Well, I mean, you're right. Nothing about the process has been particularly easy. Actually, it's been difficult, and I've persevered through it. It's something that I really want to do, and that's why I'm.
Anybody
I'm
ask
really
you for money to be a citizen of this country?
Anybody is asking me
For money?
for money
Gifts?
in this process?
I don't know. Whatever.
Not that I know of. No, should that
used to
be an
be like that.
expectation?
It was easy. People gave money in the past and they got to be citizens. They got to be citizens. In the past, Chinese took the identity of a dead person and just took over that identity and became a citizen of this country. We have had reams and reams of cases that showed us that.
No, in my
So-
case, there's not been
Okay,
any
all
such
right,
thing.
good. So,
This has been a process that
is the NBI here or Adet or any of the immigration officers? Yeah. What have you found out about Ms. Ting?
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning, Mr. Siriban, Esquire.
Sir, upon verification and checking with the records of the Bureau of Immigration, the name of Miss Mylene Ting does not appear in our derogatory list.
Does not appear.
In our derogatory list, her name does not appear in any blacklist, watch list, or hold departure list. Therefore, we interpose no objection to the grant of.
You interpose the objection just because the name does not appear on your list.
That's our main concern, Your Honor. That her name would not be appearing in.
Do you know
any
how many
derog-
times she traveled back and forth to the United States or to Hong Kong or to other places?
Sir, we can check with our.
No, you're supposed to bring it here. This is not a joke, you know.
Mr. Chair, based on our records, she travels.
I'm about to sponsor the immigration law of this country.
Yes, Mr.
And you're now in argument not for me to give you what you're wanting for.
Mr. Chair, I apologize because the letter that was sent to us only included 3 individuals. Now, we only checked the records of Mr.
So you're going by the civil minimums.
But in any case, Mr. Chair, I already have the records of, already checked with our office, the records of Miss Mylene.
Okay, have we checked?
And
So intent to Animus River Tendi.
And so-
Animus, you know what the Animus is?
uh,
She has the intention to return to this country and live here, right?
yes, Mr. Chair.
What do you call that?
Animus River Tendi, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, the intent to return all the time, right?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
It's not a temporary stay, right? That's what I want to find out.
Mr. Chair, based on our records, Miss Mylene Ting is already a holder of a special resident retirees visa, which is
Yeah.
a permanent residence.
Under the law.
Yes, Mr.
Is that
Chair.
under the PESA law or under what law?
PRA, under the Philippine Retirement.
Retirement
Authority.
yeah,
Yes,
retirement
Mr. Chair.
act. So she paid how much for that? 75,000?
Yes, Mr. $35,000 for the investment, Mr. Chair.
$35,000? I thought it was $75,000.
I got that residence visa when I was very young as a dependent of my parents.
Yeah, your parents had to pay something, right? For that is something given by the law. Even in Subic, you pay $75,000, you can have a permanent resident visa and live there, right?
I'm not sure how much they had to pay, but
I'm not sure. You were a kid when it happened, right? Don't worry, Mylene. I commend you for applying, but I'm not going to make it easy.
Mr. Chair, based on our records, whenever Miss Mylene Ting leaves the country, she returns just in a few days. So there's really
So,
the intention
are you
to
Isaac
go back.
Newton? You know, I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth. I know not where.
That's our record, Mr. Chair. She returns.
Next time when you come here, better be sure what we ask you is just the minimum. That you're here to give us an opinion on whether this lady should be given citizenship.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Right? You can say, oh, she's been out more times than she's been here. Right, Victor?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Are you the one being sent here all the time? Were you here last time?
Yes, in the Congress and in this in the
Yeah.
Senate.
So
Mr. Chair.
now you know.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Right. I would be favored. I would be totally in your favor if you did that next time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. So, what do we do? Tell me more.
Are you asking me about what do we? Can you clarify your question?
Oh, I'm not. You're supposed to clarify yourself, not me. I'm telling you, my problem is going out there on the floor and having to answer questions about you. Why? I'll tell you why. Because she wants to stay here. They've invested here, and you said that. But she's going to try to learn the language. She's going to raise her children as Filipinos. And one day they may even be president of the Philippines. Or maybe, if the nation goes to war with China, she may be of Chinese orientation, but she will go and fight for the Philippines.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You know,
My affiliation is here. As I said, my affiliation is in the Philippines. I identify with many different aspects, but I most
did you prepare
identify.
your document more about yourself?
I did. I put a brief summary together in the
Have you
set of
submitted it to
documents.
the committee?
Yes. Yes.
Did you get it? Huh? You submitted it today.
We've submitted the final set of documents we
You
submitted
know, you're
today.
making life hard for me. You know.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to convince myself. You have to give me that opportunity to convince myself.
Sure.
All right? Okay, we'll go through with you, and I'll go to the others because I still have a long way to go. Father, are you okay? Okay ka na? Nagpadala ka ba ng dokumento sa amin?
Okay lang. Opo, tapos na
Okay
lahat.
lang, ha?
Okay.
Okay, Father. So, when you become a citizen, anong gagawin mo? Magiging presidente ka ng Colegio de San Agustin.
Well, I don't know, but
Pero gusto mo yan.
but it's not my goal, to be the president.
What is your goal then?
Well, just to serve the people, to be here in the country, to die for the country, and to give myself to every
To die
Filipino.
for the country.
Yes, yes. Every
Really?
day you die for your country when you are here. I would like to tell you something that one time I was coming back from Spain. I was going to take there is no direct flight, and I was thinking of it now, no? And I remember that I had to take another contact flight, going down to. So when I arrived there, all Filipinos were there. I was the happiest person in the world. So
In
when I
Spain
sat down,
or here?
coming here, so with all the
But in Spain,
Filipinos.
ang daming Pilipino.
Yeah,
Pwede
also,
pa
but-
magkastila sa akin.
But at that
Kastila ako,
time,
talagang gurang.
But at that time, there was a Filipino girl who was coming back to the Philippines with a little baby. I have to carry that baby for many, many hours.
Mistiso ba yung baby, Father?
No,
Baka-
but I
baka-
carried that baby. It was not my baby. But I did it, and I loved it. And I felt the spirit, And this is what I want, If I have to take care of, and to contribute here, I will do it. And I feel so happy here. You know, I'm seeking
You have a mother back in Spain, right?
93 years old,
And,
Your Honor.
thank God for her. But have you, you don't want her to bien aquí.
Yeah, bien
Bien aquí
aquí.
todits.
Yeah.
Ah.
So she is very happy that I am here, but she didn't want me
You must
to
have
come
been a
here.
naughty boy. That's why she's happy you're here.
You know, every sin has a past, and every sinner has a future.
How come I heard that before from all the Jesuits and all
Yeah.
the Dominicans, and now I'm hearing it from the Augustinians.
Yeah,
Everything has a plan.
we are all related. No plan. No plan, sir. You don't know. Opo.
Well, you see, Mylene, there's an emotional kick to father.
Mhm.
She left her mother there, 93 years old, and I always been touched by that, that they must really love to be here and must be so dedicated to their cause of their advocacy and enrich the country through education. How many students have we had, Father?
We
Can you
have
count?
5,200.
How many Filipinas have you married?
So many, I cannot count it.
Really? You married a lot of people?
Yeah, I solemnize the
Oh, yeah,
weddings.
that's what I was saying. You should have corrected me right away because
Yeah.
that's a trick question.
Yeah.
You know, you're not Padre Damaso, are you?
Not that I know.
Do you know about Padre Damaso, pare?
Opo.
Oh, paya ka ba sa ginagawa niya nung araw?
Yeah, and Maria Clara.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tama ba yun, Padre? Tama ba yung ginawa niya ng araw?
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
Okay, Father. All right. All right, Father. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let
po.
me go to Philip. You've submitted your documentation, right?
Yes, I have. Yes,
Uh-huh.
sir, I have.
Yeah. Okay. And can you submit it here? Are you the lawyer?
No, no.
Why are you waving at me? You're not my type. Why were you waving? Mhm. You're not suffering from a severe mental illness or disorder. You're in your lucid interval
Yes, sir, I am.
right now. So there are moments when you're not in your lucid interval. Are
I
there
will,
many?
I will let you know.
No, I don't want to know. I will know. Do you ever use drugs?
Never.
What about you, Mylene? Do you take drugs? Have you ever tried it? Or are you like President Clinton? I used it, but I never inhaled it.
No, I don't use drugs.
All right. Okay. Mr. The Honorable Ben Hur Salumbangon is here. Why are you here, Congressman? We're honored that you're here.
I'm here in behalf of my brother-in-law, Carlos Yong.
So you see that's a reason for him to be a common citizen?
Actually, they got the invitation when they're already in Hong Kong. So
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I mean, I don't have any more questions. I just wanted the further documentation so it can for all of you. So when I go to the Senate, I will be able to the floor. I will be able to justify all your positions.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I think you may go, Congressman. Philip, you may go. Father, you may go. Hasta la vista, baby. Vaya con Dios. Okay. Maylene, go ahead. You may go.
I am also being sent by Deputy Speaker Gwen Garcia.
Who?
Gwen Garcia, sir, for Mr. Carlos Yong also.
It's done. Okay, all right.
Thank you so much, Senator.
Okay. Who are you? You got his name? May I have a recess for a while? The session is recessed for 5 minutes. You may go and take your liquidity problems to where you bring them. Thank you. Yung DOJ na yan, what do you think of, can the applicants please step out for a while? Can you please step out for a while? Hindi ba nyo nire-research yung mga binibigay sa inyo?
Mr. Chair, we just received the invitation at 5 p.m. yesterday afternoon.
Hmm?
In my personal knowledge, the Secretary of Justice has yet to see the records of the applicants.
No, I'll call another hearing for these people, no? Lahat sila. And then you have to give me a very thorough background on the research. You know, citizenship is not a right. So, dapat makita ko na pinag-aralan ninyo yung mga tao yan. Tulad yung labas-pasok dito. Di ba? What about OSG?
Yes, sir.
Anong comment nyo doon? Kalating.
Considering, sir, that this is a legislative naturalization,
What?
it's a purely plenary power of the Congress, so we have no objection to any grant.
It's the easiest thing for any young lawyer to do. I have no objections. Kung tanongin kita ngayon at hindi mo nasagot. You should really check out yung identity nito, kung may sabit yan, kung may qualifications, may disqualifications.
Yes, sir. But the OSG do not have records regarding any of the applicants today, sir.
And so I will provide you with the records.
No, sir.
You're supposed to research. Di ba? That's why I ask you. Kayo rin. So I'll give you until next week. I'll call them back here. And by that time, I want you to give it to me by Monday para when I go Wednesday, I would have studied it already. All right? Let's act as a team here. Hindi ko naman pinapahirapan yan, pero I want them to go through the eye of the needle because citizenship is not readily given as a gift. All right? Sige. Okay, you may call in the ComSec. Call in Mr. McDavish. Bilisan na natin ito, ha? Hindi ba dapat? Okay, I will take the extra precaution. This hearing is hereby resumed. I'll take the extra precaution of putting all the witnesses under oath, because whatever you say here should be the truth, and I must rely on it. And if you lie, that will be prevarication. All right. So just want to be sure we all understand one another. I don't want to be accused of favoring anybody. I'll do the same thing for the others. I just thought about it now because, you know, anybody can say he did this, he did that, and if it's not true, then I will be able to find out. Fair? All right. I shall go first to Mr. McTavish. ComSec. Administer the oath. Please stand up, Mr. McTavish, and Mr. Hans Guru, Mr. Hans Shub. Can you raise your right hand? Stand up, please.
Stand up, please. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this proceeding?
Let the record say that both gentlemen, Mr. McTavish and Mr. Shub, has taken the oath to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this proceeding. That's just an extra precaution. Don't worry about it. Unless you lie. I don't think you'll lie. Mr. McTavish, how long have you been in the Philippines?
51 years, Your Honor.
51 years. You haven't lost your voice, have you?
He's got pneumonia.
You need a blanket?
No, fine,
Or
sir.
tell your wife to wrap her arms around you so you can, not you, her wife, his wife.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a ground for disqualifying, you know. So, Mr. McTavish, you've been here for the last 51 years.
Yes, sir.
You're married to a Filipina, of course.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been married to this Filipina?
41 years, sir.
41 years. 41 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you sure?
41 and a half.
41 and a half. All right. And during the time that you were a citizen, that you were here, you have not. How many times have you gone back to New Zealand?
Twice for world title boxing.
For a world title fight.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you still have family there in New Zealand?
No, Your Honor.
All your family is here. Were you an orphan kid or something? Were you the only son?
No, one's in Australia, and I'm here for 2/3 of my life, so that's it.
All right. Would you kindly bring the microphone closer? Paige, can you bring the microphone closer to Mr. McTavish? He's a very nimble referee on the ring, but I don't know why he's so slow here today. All right, okay. You're an international boxing referee that have stayed, that have, refereed over 35 years. Is that correct? Speak a little louder, please. I need to be convinced.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. That's better. I have always known New Zealanders to be robust and noisy, and you're an exception to the rule.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And you want to be a citizen.
Definitely, Your Honor.
Why?
Why? Because this is my home and my life.
This is your home, this is your life.
Yes, sir.
50 years. How old are you? 95 years? Or
56.
How old are you?
77.
Why did you pause? Do you remember the exact date of your birth?
Yes.
What is that?
October.
October.
Be 78.
Don't you want to tell the date so we can wish you happy birthday?
No, Your Honor.
No, you have to answer. October what?
11, sir.
11. All right. All right. And do you have businesses here in the Philippines?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that?
We have my wife and myself have had one of the biggest travel agencies north of Manila for 38 years.
Biggest travel agencies?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, are you advertising or are you telling the truth?
No, just telling you the reality.
All right, okay. So why is it the biggest?
Angeles International Travel Center.
And how many people travel using your travel agency?
Probably 2/3 of the Filipinos that live in that city and
live in Angeles City.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that because of you or your wife?
No, because we're the only one that's a legal travel agent north of Manila.
Oh, so it's a monopoly. Please don't ask your wife.
I didn't hear what she said.
Anyway, so and that has guided you over the years, and that has allowed you the luxury of going all over the world to referee boxing fights.
That is part of it, but the other part of it is that we have the honor of when our daughters were 4 and 6, we did the first anti-polio in the whole world through our Rotary Club. So that's been one of the honors we've had.
Yeah, but I'll go to that later. That's your contribution outside of your occupation. But you have refereed boxing championships. What is the most memorable to you?
The most in the world for any referees, 169 world title fights.
169 world title fights?
Yes, sir.
And when was the last fight you refereed?
I judged and judged 3 fights and refereed 1 fight on the program of Manny Pacquiao's fight last week.
Last week, all right. And did you really think Matisse came to fight?
Yes, but in honor to the Senator Pacquiao, that's the best he's fought in 9 or 10 years. He something wonderful happened that day, and Matisse is a bit slower than him, and couldn't stand what he was getting. It was a brilliant fight.
All right, now, why did you fall in love with the Philippines? Is it because of Mrs. McTavish, or because you love the Philippines?
All
It's
of
a
the
good chance
all of the above.
to polish your apple with your wife now.
Definitely.
So you fell in love with your wife,
Yes, sir.
and in the Philippines also.
Yes, sir.
And which came first?
Both.
Both. You're only married to her for 30 or 40 years, but you've been here for 50 years. So you mean to tell me you were in love with her for the last 50 years, and that you
No.
were living together and not married? Is that it?
No, she went to finishing school in France and Belgium, and I was very busy in the business I was doing. And my mother had told me many years ago, when you get married, it's only one time. So I had 10 years of being single, and then
And
I
you're
got
afraid
married.
of your mother, that's why you only married one time, or you were happily married to your wife?
Happily and sad to mention, my mother died before I got married.
Oh, didn't know that. And your father still alive?
Long gone, sir.
Before he predeceased your mother?
Pardon?
Predeceased your mother?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. You took a job with Chrysler Corporation in Clarkfield.
Yes, sir. You know,
Uh,
that was the 10 years that I did business before we
Did you
got
know a
married.
certain Chuck Elliott? Charles Elliott?
Yes.
And was he a good guy?
No.
Yeah, I know about him. So I'm just trying to find out whether you in fact know why he's a bad guy.
That was his idea in life.
Did he fool a lot of people in his business?
Indubitably. Yes, sir.
Where is he now? Do you know?
No idea, sir.
Yeah, but you stayed behind and became manager of Chrysler office when he left.
Yes.
So you succeeded him,
Yes.
tidied up after him,
Yes, sir.
and restored the name of Chrysler in the area.
Yes.
So you were the cleanup man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you became president of the Rotary Club. How long have you been with the Rotary Club?
38 years.
38 years. And you introduced the world's first Polio Plus project. What is the Polio Plus project?
My daughters were 6 and 4. They did the first oral drops in the mouth
Yeah.
to do it. And we went through about 8,000 children over the whole area from Rotary.
And is that still going on?
Yes, sir.
And it became the template of the Rotary International's successful drive to eradicate polio throughout the whole world.
Yes, we did that, and plus the monies that we've put into it have been circled around the world. So it's an honor to the Philippines being the first country to do that.
We were the first country to do that.
Yes.
Would you do that for Dengvaxia too?
No comment.
No comment. You mean you take Dengvaxia knowing that Dengvaxia is improperly tested? You should comment. If you love the Philippines, you should comment.
It was.
Especially since I was the one who investigated it.
And we knew some people. We knew some people in the Red Cross that were helping me.
Right. Why did you approach First Lady Imelda Marcos at some time? What is his first private entity partnership with a government agency? Is that with the Rotary Club?
No, not to a high level. No.
But you did approach Mrs. Marcos.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because my daughters idolize her, and she spent a lot of time in Angela's. So, and her husband, I used to spar with in boxing and play tennis, and so I just knew that family that way.
How many children do you have, Mr. McDavish?
2, Your Honor.
Boy and girl?
2 girls.
2 girls. You know, there's a saying, it takes a man to make another man.
Yes, it's also better to have two women.
Yeah, that's a good answer. But anyway, the kids are already grown up.
39 and 37.
Really, that shows your age, not your wife's. How much older are you with your wife?
I wanted to say 1 year, but it's 7 years.
I can see your wife frowning on the back. You are the first non-Filipino to be the director of the Metro Angeles Chamber of Commerce. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the claim to fame of the Metro Angeles Chamber of Commerce? You do anything good?
Yes, getting the city itself to work as one team instead of all the fights and bad business.
Are you familiar with Mylene Ting?
With who, Your Honor?
Tipco Paper Mill. The lady that sat down on that chair.
No, Your Honor.
You're not familiar with her?
No.
She's obviously owns one of the biggest paper mills in the country. Are you not familiar with her?
No, Your Honor.
Are you familiar with her company?
No, Your Honor.
Ooh. Don't you go around the area?
No, Your Honor.
Are you protecting her for something?
No, Your Honor.
Huh? What about you're president of the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Pampanga?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you own a hotel?
During...
Why do you take time when I ask you a question? You either say yes or no.
Why? My wife doesn't know.
Oh, your wife doesn't know that you own a hotel?
No, that I virtually did during the Mount Pinatubo.
You did own a hotel?
The Oasis Hotel.
Yeah. And you no longer operate that hotel?
No, Your Honor.
And you are president of the Corsillo. St. James Corsillo.
Of course, yes.
Not the Corsillo, but the Corsillo.
Corsillo.
Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, did that help you become a good man?
It put me on the right track because today, Tuloy, with Monsignor Rocky Evangelista, we now have 1,385 children that we put through a school. And
Rafi Evangelista?
Yes.
Oh, he doesn't...
he's Pampangan.
I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
No.
Well, I helped him out because my Rotary group, we ran out of money in taking care of the street children, and so they took over from me and Angela's as well.
You are also chair of the board of trustees of the Bahay Bata Foundation.
Yes, that was what we had before. That I started that many years ago.
Did that do any good?
Fantastic. We even had children.
How many children did you have at that time?
48. And what I did, the ones that were still taking drugs and stealing things, I put them in a room outside. And if they wanted to play basketball or watch TV and have a good meal, they have to stop doing that. And that helped a lot.
And have those children graduated to become better citizens?
Yes, some have. That's the magic thing. People say, out of 48, you only got 6 that did well. I said, good, that's 6 too many that other people didn't
You know, I'm trying very hard to understand your New Zealand accent, you know, and I can't understand it. Could you come closer to the microphone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. So the Bata Foundation is a good one, right?
Excellent.
You even built them a world-class junior baseball field.
Yes, Your Honor. And also sent them to England to play rugby, and we beat the team by about 20-odd points.
And is that still operational up to now, the junior baseball field?
No, that was taken over by people that lent it with no money for about 15 years, and we moved them down to Manila. But the other people we still have now for sewing for women, mechanics for the cars, and the rest of the thing at the school. So
Well, he provides scholarships, education. Is this all true?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you had a rugby league and pony baseball competitions for children?
Yes, Your Honor.
You basically are a sportsman, aren't you?
Yes, because it involves children, especially children that need help, and
Okay.
it's a good way to get them off the street.
And you give lectures on the rules of boxing in
For
one convention.
around the world, I'm the only guy had the honor of North Korea and Siberia. No one else has ever done a referee job there.
You had to teach them the rules of boxing in North Korea?
Yes.
Why? They didn't know how to, they didn't have any rules when they boxed in North Korea?
They won a world title, the only world title North Korea's ever had.
Have you ever refereed the Pacquiao fight?
Pacquiao, when he was 17, 18, my fantastic wife used to feed him. He didn't have much money, he didn't have much food, and I got him his first world title fight.
Your wife saw Pacquiao when he was still poor?
Yes. And
Really?
then yes, and then
Were they a charity case?
no, it was. He got his first fight up there for 1,000 pesos.
How
And
much?
1,000 pesos.
His first fight was for 1,000 pesos.
Yeah, and then I got him a fight in Thailand, which he probably doesn't even remember. And he'd be upset if he hears what I tell you, that he won a world title fight.
In Thailand?
After about only 8 or 9 fights.
And you arranged all those fights for him?
Yes, and they offered me $500, and then I ended up getting $1,000 for that fight, and he lost every round until the 9th round.
Where he knocked him out?
Knocked him out, yes.
Yeah, but there was a fight that he got knocked out there too as well.
After that, yes.
Yeah, and he lost the title.
Yes.
And after that, you never refereed him. You never managed him afterwards.
Yes, I refereed him 7 times.
Oh, you represented him 7 times.
And
Oh.
the last time that he fought in the Philippines was 9 years ago at Araneta against the ex-world champion of Mexico. It was 2 knockdowns, and he won.
Who was that? That was the last fight you refereed. It was a championship fight.
Yes. Oscar Larios. That's my second in the corner.
Oscar Larios, yeah.
Oscar Larios, world champion 3 times. Very nice man. The last fight ever in the Philippines at Araneta.
Mm-hmm. Do you make money out of those fights?
Not in the Philippines.
Doesn't pay to be a referee in the Philippines.
I'll do it for nothing.
You
But
do it for
but-
nothing.
But don't tell them that.
Sorry?
Don't tell them that.
Well, I'll tell them that, of course. I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to investigate them why they don't pay referees well. Because they could throw fights. The referee should be part of it because he's not paid, right?
True.
Now, abroad, are referees paid well?
Yes.
What would be an average?
Still poor money. Anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000 US. Yeah.
And they pay for your travel expenses, of course.
Oh, everything, and hotel, food, everything. Yes.
Yeah. You think that's good enough?
No.
You think it should be higher, of course?
That's not really my concern on that, but yes, it's a bit poor.
Just for my curiosity, how much did that guy get paid who refereed Pacquiao and the last fight?
Yeah, Pacquiao and Matisse. You'll be the first one to find it out. The world champion got 2.8 million, and challenger got 10 million. So that was the best thing ever happened in the Philippines for a fight.
You mean Pacquiao got $10 million?
Yes, sir.
So he made money on that fight?
Me?
Him?
Yes.
What about you? Did you make money on that fight?
I got $500 for 4 fights.
So they only gave you $500 to referee that fight. Was it the championship fight?
Yes.
The undercard?
Yeah.
Which one was that? I didn't see you there.
It was an Australian and a Filipino.
And who won?
Filipino just about knocked him out in the first round, and then he got dropped 3 times in the second round. I stopped the fight.
You stopped the fight.
Mm.
You should have been the referee in the basket brawl between the Filipinos and the. And you were introduced in 2015 as Bruce McTavish from the Philippines.
Yes, and the good thing about that is they always say Bruce McTavish from New Zealand, and which is an honor for the Philippines, that what I fought them on, that the Philippines is my home, it's my life, it's my family, and it's what I would want to do with children. And I got sick and tired of seeing Bruce McTavish from New Zealand. And the third time, no one's really got 2 times the top referee in the world. And I fortunately, without being arrogant, just happy about the Philippines, the 3rd time on a year ago. And they finally came out and says Bruce McTavish, Philippines/New Zealand. So they got halfway there.
Mm-hmm. And you corrected them.
Yes.
Yeah. And in 2007, you refereed the first women's world title fight.
Pardon?
The first women's world title fight.
Yes, in jail.
In jail?
Yes. My wife said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Bangkok." She said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in jail." She said, "What did you do this time?" I said, "No, it's a fight, darling."
The fight was inside the jail.
Yes.
And was it a sanctioned fight?
World title.
Really?
Yes.
Why was it in jail?
Because what the president of Thailand said, if that girl was female, said wins the world title, he's going to release her from jail.
And did she get released?
No, because I stopped it in the 5th round, and I said, I did that to save your life. She said, "I'd rather have died than you stopping it." So that didn't go down well.
So she went back to jail?
Yes, it stayed there. And then 3 months later, they had a rematch, and I said, "There's no way they're going to get me there." And they wanted me, so I did it that time. She won.
With your help?
Yeah. Not with her punching.
I thought you were going to fix the fight. So she got out of jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a strange way of getting out of jail, literally getting a free pass by fighting.
Yes, and it was on the front page of the Bangkok Post.
Yeah. There was a case where a Filipino was knocked senseless and had to require 2 brain surgeries. You were refereeing that fight. In 2003, Alvin Fericilda, he required 2 brain surgeries after being knocked out in a fight. Were you the referee there? You don't remember that? You don't remember that being referee for that fight?
No. The one I got out of hospital was I gave the money to the hospital in the south, and he regained his health. If that's the same guy.
You raised money for him?
Yeah.
But you were not refereeing the fight?
No.
So you wanted to help?
Yes, I get a bad record. They say, "How come you stopped that fight so early?" I said, "I've never stopped a fight never had a guy die, and I'd rather be a little bit early than too late."
You would always stop the fight before it gets too late.
Yeah, except that I did one crazy fight. Pacquiao again. The president of this country was the promoter. Pacquiao was the champion fighter against the Thai, and I was the referee. And there was 4 knockdowns in the first round before I stopped it. So Bruce the Brief let it go 4, when normally I've stopped a fight with no knockdown.
And you were not arrested by the president of the country?
The president of the country was happy because he promoted the fight.
Okay.
He was the mayor at the time.
So he didn't care whether he won so long as the fight was well attended?
Yes, and it was. And I let it go 4 knockdowns in the first round. It was all over.
All right. Now, why do you want to be a Filipino again? With all that record, do you think this is enough to make you a Filipino?
I hope so. This is 2/3 of my life, my family, and the honor I have in the street. people say, "Hi, Mr. McTavish," and they don't say anything to my wife, so I realize I'm probably a Filipino.
And your wife has become the New Zealander.
She can't spell New Zealand.
All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. McTavish. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Not trying to make light of it, but I have a hard time trying to, I don't know whether you're trying to hoodwink me by mumbling in your microphone. But anyway, I'll forgive you for that. The New Zealand's never had the right way of speaking English anyway. See? That's what I mean. So now you know how I feel. Thank you. All right, now, Bureau of Immigration, you have any records on Mr. McTavish?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Based on the records of the Bureau of Immigration, Mr. Bruce Donald McTavish is a holder of a Special Resident Retirees Visa issued by the Philippine Retirement Authority.
PRA?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So he's already retired. He should not be refereeing anymore. That's a violation of his visa.
Well, he can, Mr. Chair.
Oh, he can. Okay,
Yes,
all right.
Mr. Chair. And also, upon checking from the derogatory list of the Bureau of Immigration, his name does not appear in our derogatory list. And lastly, he's a, frequent traveler, but returns in the Philippines after leaving for 4 to 5 days. So, intention to stay.
Has he ever had any case abroad? Do you know of any case that he has abroad?
None of the, based on the records, Mr. Chair. No
Okay.
record of any case.
And Department of Justice?
Mr. Chair, we reserve our comments, objections, or favorable recommendation once once the Secretary of Justice reviews the records of Mr.
The
McTavish.
Secretary of Justice will research, or
No,
you
no,
mean
no.
the Department of Justice?
It's the Office of the Chief State Counsel who will do the review for the approval of the Secretary of Justice, Mr. Chair.
And didn't you do this for the lower house?
No, sir. We haven't received any records from the House of Representatives.
Is that correct? They don't do it for the lower house? Okay, make sure it's fast, because I'll expect it on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
All
Mr.
right,
Chair.
because we'll have another hearing on Wednesday. Is that okay, Ria? Okay. What about OSG?
Sir, we can also submit our written comment on or before Wednesday, sir.
All right, okay. What about the NBI? That's the Department of Justice as well. Try to find out whether he's got any derogatory record.
Will do, Mr. Chair.
If he's married to a man or a woman or several times.
We will try to coordinate with the NBI, Mr. Chair,
All
on
right,
that.
okay, all right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. McTavish. Is it, by the way, with an H or with no H? McTavish.
McTavish, H.
With an H. Because I've seen it spelled without an H.
McTavish, no, McTavish.
McTavish. Yeah. Right.
If I may,
Is that Scott?
Scottish, yes. And
Scottish, yeah.
Mother Irish,
That means you're Kuripot.
yes.
Yeah.
And Irish as
Do you
well.
speak Tagalog?
Apo,
Kapampangan?
Wapin po.
Wow, okay.
If I may just,
So you speak Tagalog in Kapampangan?
konti lang, Edwa.
Okay, all
Dalawa.
right, okay.
Not for sale.
Okay. Quit while you're ahead, okay?
If I may,
Go ahead.
to give something to you, I do know that you've watched boxing, and I have the Ring magazine here with Manny on the cover. I'd like to give that to your team, and plus the greatest referee in the world now.
You want to give that to me?
I want to give, yes, because I got the photo
No,
here.
I cannot
for-
accept any gifts from you. I'm holding you. I cannot accept that.
Okay, is
You
it-
tried to bribe me.
no,
Oh.
I just want to show you I'll just show you this picture.
That's what you meant. You want to show it to us.
Yeah, this,
Will the ComSec please take a look at it and put it on the record?
you saw the referee of the fight, the Pacquiao fight,
Yeah.
Kenny Bayless, and I have a lovely picture of him. I trained him for about 14 years, and he's such a humble guy, and you'd appreciate this with a little bit of humor for a man, and then I'll hang up. He got $40,000 for the Pacquiao Mayweather fight,
Hmm.
40,000 US, and he said to me, "Thank you very much for training me. I got $40,000. Anything I can do for you?" And I said, "Yes, give me half your purse."
Did he?
And he said, because he's such a humble guy, And he said, well, yeah, he said, sure, what do you want, cash or a check? I said,
Oh, really?
Kenny, I was just joking, right?
Ah.
So we're very good friends. I wanted to put it on file for you.
Okay, we'll do that. So you did not take advantage of somebody who was offering you half his purse. That will go very well in your stead.
Thank you very
And
much.
that's
Your Honor.
very good because you're Scottish origin, and usually the Scots will take that right away. Ay, Kapampangan. Okay. You're Magastos. What's that? That's Kabong? Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Then I'll go to Mr. Hans Schuf. Is that the way to pronounce it? Schuf?
Shove, yes.
Schuf. Oh, yeah. Should sound like a dog in coughing mystery.
Yeah,
Uh,
since 10 years my voice is rusty.
like that. Your voice has been like that for the last 10 years?
Yeah.
I'd love to give you A for effort for really trying to be a Filipino citizen with that kind of a voice. That also could be a ground for disqualification. You cannot communicate. Do you know how to speak Tagalog? Bisaya?
Actually not. I understand some, I know a few words, but the funny thing is, every time everybody speaks in English with me, even in the first years I was in the Philippines and I joined the order of the Knights of Rizal,
Yeah.
everybody speaks English. I try to talk Tagalog and they answer me in English.
How old are you now?
Until next week I'm 71.
71.
Yes,
71.
yes.
All right. And you've stayed all your life in the Philippines? How long?
32 years.
32 years.
Yes,
So almost half your life.
yes, Your Honor.
Why do you like it in the Philippines? Is it because you have a business here?
No, I also have a business, but Rizal and I have a common feeling about Germany and the Philippines. Rizal said he liked Germany very much, but he was always proud to have the Philippines as his home. And I'm proud to have my home in the Philippines.
Have you got any cases filed against you in Germany?
No, Your Honor.
And does the DFA check that? Is DFA here?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, cases? Yes, cases filed against him in Germany?
For Mr. Schuf?
Yeah.
No, we do not have any derogatory records for Mr.
What
Schuf.
about Mr. McTavish?
We also don't have any derogatory records
Really?
for...
No, I'm surprised about that. Really?
Yeah, we do not have.
Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Schuf, you like it so much that you made a statue in honor of Jose Rizal in Peru. Why in Peru?
Because the Department of Foreign Affairs wrote me a letter. If I know where they can get a statue in Paris for Peru.
DFA asked you to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Is that true?
No, they asked me if I know where they can get one.
In Peru.
No, to bring to Peru. And then I was one who told them, look, I know the sculpturist, Czech, Pislak is his
Peru.
name. No,
In
in the
Poland.
Czech Republic.
In the Czech Republic.
Yeah, he was the one who made the busts.
Do you have a picture of that statue?
No, but I can bring it next
It would be
time.
nice if you could provide us with one.
Yeah, I have the bust of Rizal and Blumentritt also the same.
Blumentritt.
Yeah, Ferdinand
Did I see you say Bloomingdale or Blumentritt?
Blumentritt.
Oh yeah, Bloomingdale is a department store.
Ferdinand. No.
Yeah.
I have these two sculptures also in our hotel, and I also donate them to the provincial government of Bohol.
Related to?
to the provincial government
Of
of
Bohol.
Bohol. Yes.
Also made in by this Czech sculptor.
Yes.
How big is it? It's a bust.
Yeah.
And
Yes, Your Honor.
how much did it cost you?
I don't know exactly. It was 7,000 euro.
In Peru, how much did it cost you?
About the same.
About how much?
6,000 to 7,000 euro.
700 euro?
6,000 to 7,000.
7,000 euro.
Yeah.
That's about 420,000 pesos.
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
Tama yan? Yeah. That's cheap.
Yeah, it's a bust. He made the busts before for the Rizal Park in Heidelberg, Wilhelmsfeld.
Are you from Heidelberg?
I'm actually from Wiesbaden, but I lived for about 6 years in Heidelberg.
Do you know that Rizal has a statue in Heidelberg?
Oh yes, I even helped renovating the Rizal Park in Heidelberg, Wilhelmsfeld. And we have 3 markers in the city of Heidelberg.
The marker, right?
Yeah, there are 3.
I was there once and I cleaned up the marker. It was full of graffiti.
Yeah.
I had to stand out there and get my little Swiss knife and take out all the graffiti that was there.
There's from eye clinic, the old eye clinic where he was as assistant doctor in 1886. There is one on the University Square, on the old university.
And you like Rizal?
Oh yes, Your Honor.
Why do Germans like Rizal? Blumentritt was German or Austrian?
He was an Austrian.
Austrian, right? That's right. I was just trying to check your history.
Yeah.
Right. And so he was an Austrian, but Hitler was also Austrian, wasn't he?
Yes.
From Bavaria, right?
No, Bavaria, I have nothing to do with Austria.
No, I didn't say you had anything to do with him. But I mean, he's from Bavaria, right?
No, Austria, Bavaria is German. Austria is Austria.
Yeah, right. You're right. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bavaria I have nothing to do with
And where was Hitler born?
When?
Hitler, where was he born?
In Austria.
Where in Austria?
Not, he was somewhere, his father was a custom guy, and it was somewhere in
There's
the
this crazy
mountains.
rumor that Hitler was Rizal's son.
No, this couldn't be as a member of the Order of the
I was
Knights
trying to
of
find out
Rizal.
why you like Rizal so much.
I
Maybe
no,
because of
no,
that.
no. I know this rumor long since over 30 years.
So Hitler was not the son. Another person became the son.
We research about the time when Rizal was in this area, and it couldn't be from the time.
Yeah. Well, apart from that, what have you done for the community, for the country?
I think it's written in my report. I served the Knights of Rizal for many years.
You're in the Supreme Council, aren't you?
Yes, for 3
Do you
terms.
know the history of the Philippines?
Yes, quite.
Do you think Lapu-Lapu is a national hero?
Yes,
Why?
because he defend
Because he?
he defend intruders in his native country.
Somebody tipped you that I was going to say that, right?
No.
Because everybody says he's a hero because either he killed Magellan or he died for the country.
No, he defend.
He defended
I
the
mean,
country. Do you know
that's-
the national anthem?
Yes, Your Honor.
What part of the national anthem does Lapu-Lapu and Rizal play?
In the national anthem, maybe in several parts, the glory of the country, the sacred chores, in the end, to defend the country for the intruders and even die for your country.
Yeah, Rizal is the die for the country part.
Yes.
and Lapu-Lapu is the kill the other guy for the country.
Yeah,
No. He said just he
no,
said,
the defender.
to nation invaders trample our sacred
Yes.
shores. Yeah, I mean, I think. Do you know that, Mr. McTavish? Do you know the national anthem?
Yes, but bad thing about
Huh?
the bad thing about me being in the Philippines such a long time, Magellan and Lapu-Lapu, the young Filipinos don't know that that Lapu-Lapu killed Magellan. They know Magellan, but the ones now, they don't even know. The only Lapu-Lapu they know is fish. They don't even know the history of Magellan and Lapu-Lapu.
You're pulling my leg. Stop talking, because you might lose your application. Anyway, Hans Gunther. Is it Gunther? Did I pronounce it correctly? Or
Gunther.
Gunther. Where are you from in Germany?
Actually from Wiesbaden.
Wiesbaden.
Yes.
So it's Wiesbaden, not Wiesbaden.
Yeah.
Wiesbaden.
Wiesbaden, we pronounce it, yes.
Wiesbaden is the way to pronounce it. Right. And do you have any derogatory record in our country? Any labor strikes against your company?
No.
You ever committed a violation of the Sixth Commandment?
No.
The Ninth Commandment?
No.
All right, but you married a Filipina, right?
Yes.
But before you married her, did you adopt her first?
Adopt her by.
You adopted your wife.
I adopted her biological children.
Oh, you adopted his biological, your biological children.
Yes.
And they're Filipinos, right?
Yes.
And they've grown up already.
Yes.
Raised as Filipinos.
Yes.
Do they speak German?
No.
All right. Sure?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Not even come here. Come here, sit here.
Few words. My son knows a few words, but
Such
he
as?
never speak it.
Such as Achtung?
Achtung, yes.
All right. And they're educated in the Philippines. You
Yes,
sent them to school. How long have you had them? How long have you had them?
Pardon?
How long have you had these children?
My son was 9 months when I married her, and
So-
the daughter 1.5, less than 2 years. So
No, they're
since-
adults. They're adults now.
Yes,
You raise
31
them.
and
You raise them.
30.
What do they call you?
Dad. Dad.
Dad.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Call it. Yeah. Not Hans.
No.
Okay. Dad. And
I'm
what does,
the
and what
one
does your
who-
wife call you?
Liebling.
What?
Liebling.
Labeling. What does that mean?
My love.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does she know you're saying that here?
No.
Oh, did she not know? All right. Labeling. You taught her to call you labeling.
Yeah.
Mr. McTavish, what does your wife call you? Come home. I don't blame her. I'm surprised she even calls you that. Anyway, 71 years old,
Yes.
76 years old. We belong to the same generation, I suppose.
Yes.
Of course, he's older than us. Mr. McTavish is older than us. And he looks it too. Yeah, all right. So, what else am I gonna ask you? Do you speak any Filipino words or?
A few, but not very good. I will start.
And you've been in Bohol all your life, in the Philippines.
I've been the first years in Manila. I opened 2 restaurants in
Here in
Manila.
Manila. German restaurants or?
Yeah, Old Heidelberg was well known.
Oh,
before.
where is that? I'm interested to see
It
that.
was in Nakpilcon, Bocobo.
In Bocobo.
Yes.
you know.
It was well known. I had quite a lot of Filipino as guests.
Yeah, right. And the other one is?
There was two old Heidelbergs. The first one was in Soldado Street, and the second one was in Nakpil Corner, Bocobo.
Yeah, and they're doing very well.
Yeah, I closed in November '95 because I start to build a house in Bohol, and to go back and forth, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I concentrate on Bohol.
So you only have one restaurant left, or no more?
No, yes, I have family business. I'm a minority shareholder of the Peacock Garden Resort, yes, resort and spa.
Where is that? In Bohol?
In Bohol, in Baclayon.
Baclayan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is
Were you there when I was Secretary of Tourism?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow Bohol, you remember that?
Yes, Bohol.
Yeah. And the Chocolate Hills?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember very well. I fight with my heart for the survival of the Tassiers because they've been for years abused on the Lobog River.
Yeah.
There was a sanctuary in Cortes, but the bus tour operators brought them because from Chocolate Hills, Lobog River, they don't want to go to Cortes because it's out of the road. So they bring the Tassiers on Lobog River and put them on the shoulders, and people can do whatever with it.
So they really disturb their
Yeah,
harmony.
they die.
And you don't like that?
They threw it away and they picked new one. And I was 9 years consultant for tourism for the late Governor Erico Aumentado. And I told him, I said, look, Cetaceae, like you also put in your promotion, Bohol, is the symbol of Bohol besides the Chocolate Hills. I say, if they get killed and not there anymore, what do you do? So I was able after several years.
They're also in Samar. They're also in Leyte.
Yes.
Also some parts of Cebu.
Yes, I hear about this.
And some are in Congress. I can refer you to one of them.
Okay.
And how will your Filipino citizenship help you?
In the Philippines, I build my houses in Manila, in Bohol. I raise my family, my children. I fight for projects and dreams because I love the country and the future of the Philippines. In my heart, I am Filipino. There's
You're
many.
willing to call it the fatherland?
Yes. After my mother passed away 13 years ago, I never was back in Germany. I don't miss it.
Did you bring anything of Germany to the Philippines?
In several ways. I don't know in which way you mean.
Well, Germans are very systematic people. They're very good in record keeping. They're very good in technology.
I like to run my
Very
business.
good in railroads, steel.
Yeah, I don't produce railroad or steel.
What does Wiesbaden, what does it do?
Wiesbaden is partly, it's a gate to the River Rhine because it is on the River Rhine. They have some industries, but mainly it's a government of the province of Hessen. And it has many offices.
Is there a Philippines-German Business Council or Philippine-German Association?
It wasn't in the time I wasn't there.
Is there one, if you know of?
I know there's one in Mainz, over the bridge.
Where?
Mainz. Mainz is on the other side on the River Rhine. You just pass the bridge from Wiesbaden to Mainz.
Mainz in Germany.
Yeah.
But in the Philippines, is there a Philippine-German
There
Friendship
is.
Society?
There is. I'm also a member of the German club,
Yes.
where we also have a lot of Filipinos.
Yeah. Well, the German Red Cross is a very good partner of the Philippine Red Cross.
Yes.
So, are you a member of the Philippine Red Cross?
No, not yet. But,
That means you're threatening to be a member now,
okay.
especially if you get citizenship here.
Yes.
All right, okay. That's good. That's a good sign. What about New Zealand? I mean, New Zealand is, your Prime Minister went to the Philippine Red Cross headquarters during APEC. He was the only head of state who ever wandered out of APEC and went to the Philippine Red Cross building. Did you know that? I would have invited you. Except that he probably wouldn't have come if he had known you were going to be there. Just kidding. Anyway, I guess I think I've had enough to... if you could come back here on Wednesday, just in case there may be another question. I'll ask you to come back on Wednesday. Bruce, can you come back on Wednesday with Hans? Bruce and Hans. This is the beginning of a new friendship.
We know each other. I don't know if he remembers, but I've been on one fight. I think it was in Cebu. He was a referee.
I think he refereed the fight between Joe Louis and Max Schmeling, or Max
No,
Baer.
I think he is too young for it.
Max Baer, or... See, he takes advantage of every compliment he can get. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Schuf, and
Thank you.
Mr. McTavish. Thank you. I hope your throat gets better. Has that been like that for the last 10 years?
Sometime better, sometime worse, but here the aircon hits me a lot. And
It's a cold.
It's
Yeah,
really cold. I'm freezing.
we do have, we're very energy unfriendly here.
Yeah.
I think they try to cool down the emotions of the senators by putting us in the freezer. Sometimes it's cold enough to hang, beef in here.
I told my son in the short break you had before, I say, if I know it's so cold here, I will have a training in the cool room of our hotel.
So, salamat po. Dankeschön.
Bitteschön.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You may now go with our blessings, and we forgive you of all your sins. And you didn't even take the lunch. I mean, okay. Thank you. I will recess for a while so that I can go quicker later, because I'm having liquidity problems. And no, before I recess, I'll just any comments from this gentleman, from the resource folks? You're just going to submit later, no? Wednesday, please come back here and we will have another meeting. Thank you. Meeting is recessed for a while. 5 minutes. do that, I want to make sure that we do have a budget for these courts. Is there one? Budget? Assuming we approve all these courts, has the Department of Budget Management and the court administrator talked to each other already, so that when these courts are approved, you have the budget to create the buildings, to create the PS and the MOE? What is the answer?
Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Sa ngayon po kasi for
Mark
the
James Evangelista, Division Chief of the liaison ba?
liaison officer, yes sir. Thank you po. Sir, for the MOOE, probably they might get it from the savings of the department. However, sir, for the PS cost and for the capital outlay, hindi po siya nasama dun sa NEP. So, sabi ko nga po kanina, yun po yung medyo questionable as of now, pagdating po sa budgeting.
So we do have a problem. The problem is the country needs more courts because each of the communities that require these courts are severely overloaded with cases. And if we approve them, if they are not in the budget, they will not be filled up. And if the president does not appoint any of the judges, it will not be operational. So again, you have another crimp in the administration of the Department of Justice of this country. Is that correct? Megan? Musni,
Your Honor. It would be a safe assumption, Your Honor.
Sorry?
It would be a safe assumption, Your Honor, that not just do we increase the number of courts, there should also be a correlated increase in the, or rather, more efficient appointment of judges or faster appointment, as well as increase in number of prosecutors and POW lawyers.
But that is the problem, isn't it? What is the reality on the ground?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, based from our experience, it takes some time before judges are appointed, in the same way that fiscals and POW lawyers are currently insufficient in number to sustain the increase in the number of judges or courts created or organized.
So how much time is usually what is the track record? How much time does it usually take before, passage of Congress by creation of courts? On the creation of courts, how much time is usually exacted in terms of the creation, of the actual creation of the courts?
Sir, we were informed that from the time that the law is enacted, usually for it to be included in our budget estimate, it takes around 1 to 2 years. And then for the actual appointment of the judges and staff, it would take another year or two.
Why can you not synchronize them?
For the first part, Your Honor, it would depend on our receipt of the issuance of what we call the NOSCA, or the Notice of Staffing Compensation Action.
Notice of
Staffing Compensation Action, Your Honor.
Compensation Action, NOSCA, Notice of Staffing Compensation Action.
Yes, Your Honor.
And where does that emanate?
It comes from the DBM, Your Honor.
DBM. To me, the problem here is coordination. The Office of the Court Administrator should be able to forecast how many courts we are going to need. Correct? How many courts are overloaded. On that basis, you should be able to provide DBM in advance that in the year or two, the next year or two, this will be the requirement in terms of courts. Are you able to do that? Or do you do so only when required to do so?
Your Honor, we have our own statistical data. We know the trend when it comes to overburdened courts, but the problem, Your Honor, is the fact that it has to be sponsored by a congressman. So as to that aspect, Your Honor, we can't really have much say anymore.
No, you've got, that's why you have liaisons. That's why you have your ability to lobby. Or you have to write the Speaker or the Senate President that there is that backlog in courts, and therefore this should be prioritized. Diba?
Yes, Your Honor, we will take it into consideration.
No, you must take it into consideration. You must be ahead of the curve. So the chair admonishes the Court Administrator's Office and the DBM to get their acts together, Because we can't be creating courts and then you'll find out that it will take another 2 years to complete.
Yes, Your Honor.
I will certainly bring this matter up to the Judicial and Bar Council. The next hearing, which is Monday, no, which is Friday. Friday. Put that down on the agenda and make sure you get the data of what I'm talking about. And at the same time, I will also make it a point to talk to on the floor and say that this is the problem. Is that okay with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, having said that, according to Attorney Dublon of the Budget Office of the Senate, this is being done, and all the time, the way out would be to put a colatilla in the law that will approve as follows, and I quote, "The funds necessary for the operation of the court's hearing credit shall be appropriated and released only upon the actual organization of the courts and the appointment of its personnel." Which means dapat pag humingi kayo, meron na kayong talagang organizational preparation.
Your Honor, is it okay if I ask for a clarification? Sir, would it mean that the release of the budget would only be when there's an actual organization?
That's
meaning
correct. That's what it says.
the judges, the staff, and the courthouse
And if
are
you want
in
to correct
place?
that, what I suggest is you should assume that this is the number of courts that you have to create. And then, by force, the Congress should be forced to act. And in fact, the Judicial Bar Council should appoint judges already, should recommend the appointment of judges already, so that the moment this is approved, you can actually bring them to that court, which means that they don't lobby for a particular sala. That means you have to have a bunch of judges that are already approved that can be appointed to a particular sala. Doesn't have to be of their choosing. It has to be of the choosing of the office of the court administrator. Is that practical?
Your Honor, unfortunately, from what I understand from our procedure, we only include the budget for the creation of the court itself, meaning inclusive of the salary of the judges and the staff personnel after the law is passed. So,
No, it doesn't mean that. It only means that you give a forecast and you make a recommendation that these are the following courts that has to be approved. For example, you tell us, these are the vacancies. We assume that that in the next year or two, you will have to add the following courts to the following provinces and cities. Correct?
we can do
And
that.
based
Your
on
Honor.
that, we can pass on the appointment of judge applicants at the Judicial Bar and Council, subject to the actual organization of the courts and the appointment of its personnel. That way, you lose the 2 years.
Yes, Your Honor. Although for the actual appointment, Your Honor, once the short list is released, it also takes some time. Probably.
Well, kaya nga, the trick is to try and lessen the time of delay on the appointment or in the organization.
Yes, Your Honor. Point taken.
For example, as of June 30, 2018, is it true only 68.56% of the courts are filled, or 1,826 judge positions, and 31.43 are unfilled?
Your Honor, based from our records, that is correct.
And what is the reaction of the executive on this matter?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I can't answer
Are
as
they
to
aware of
the...
it? Have they been made aware of it?
From what I know, Your Honor, there are a lot of pending shortlists for
Is it a
appointment.
short list because they don't want to appoint, or is it because there is no budget? What's the answer?
I think, Your Honor, there is a budget. It's really more of the appointment, actual appointment.
So, delay. Submitted na yung short list pero hindi pa nag-appoint.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, if I may give
Then
an...
that is, the ball is in your court. You should write the executive secretary or the Department of Justice to communicate to the President that appointments have to be made.
We'll take it into account, Your Honor.
Hindi naman pwedeng gano'n na nadidelay yung appointment dahil alam natin kailangan natin na mapasa yung mga hinuhusgahan. Kundi nakakulong yung mga tao, pinakakain din sa kulungan yan habang hindi nagagawa itong habang tumatagal, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Minsan yung finale, yung penalty na natapos na yung penalty na ibibigay, nakakulong pa rin yung tao. Does that happen? I'm sure it does.
Unfortunately, in some rare instances, Your Honor.
So what is your pleasure now? How many positions are we looking into? Diba yung mga pinailang na mga congressmen?
Yes, Your Honor.
And over and above that, ilang pang kulang doon?
Your Honor, we only prepared for our recommendations for the proposed 21 bills. So they've proposed around 59. Ours is almost double of that if we'll follow our recommendation.
So the 59, 21 lang ang gagawin ang bubuksan natin?
No, sir. 59 proposed additional courts by Congress, but based from the review of the caseload, our recommendation is around 80 plus.
Ilan?
87, Your Honor.
59, ang bibigay ninyo ilan lang?
Sir, our recommendation is 87, so more than the proposed additional courts.
So 27 of the 59, so there will still be vacancies, gano ba? Or is that just a wish list? Ang talagang kailangan yung 27?
We need 87. Our recommendation, sir, is 87.
87?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ang pinay lang is 59?
59, sir.
So baliktad. Can you give me a statement or a report on this, on the backlog, and then I will try to rustle out the, rustle out the bushes so that people will know about this situation.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, would it be for the entire Philippines, or are we talking about the bills, Your Honor?
The administration of justice in this country will be yet better served if there are enough judges and courts. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The backlog, the constitutional provision on speedy administration of justice, particularly the matter of Section 14, Article 3 of this 1987 Constitution, which requires that the right to speedy, impartial, and public trial is undertaken, is being thwarted by bureaucratic rigmarole or by simple negligence or simply inaction. Di ba? That should be your premise.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, upon that premise, you now say this is the number of courts that we actually need in order to reduce the backlog. And you inform the President about it, or the Office of the President about it, and the Judicial and Bar Council. So, even before we act on it, dapat meron ng appointment, meron ng proseso that will ensure that once he's appointed, there is already, the vacancies are already being filled, along with the staff and along with the buildings, di ba? Do you agree?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
can you prepare a memo on that, to that effect?
Yes, Your Honor.
Submit it to me and to OCA, and then maybe we can talk about it, also to the budget.
Sir Honor.
I can call for a hearing on that if you like.
No need, Your Honor. We can probably submit our position paper.
No, so, I'm ordering you now
Sorry,
to
sir.
submit that position paper. And then on that basis, I can call a hearing so that we can once and for all say ito ang kailangan pero hindi nangyayari, and we can, like as I said, rustle out the bushes so people will act. Is that the way to do it?
Yes, Your
Do you
Honor.
agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, DBM, do you agree?
We agree, sir. Attorney Evan, I agree. And
So now, if we appoint this now, if we pass on these bills now, lalabas yan, these are still in the nature of unorganized courts, right? Which means nothing will happen until appointments are made and disbursement of funds are made so that they could put up the buildings, and of course, you can get savings according to Mark here from miscellaneous, for miscellaneous expenses, or for
just to mention, Your Honor, For the unorganized courts as of present, they are receiving the PS cost and other releases. We do it comprehensively.
How?
So,
Hindi na.
kahit po sir hindi po nila fill yung mga positions, we still issue sir the cost for that. Sabay-sabay po na-release ng DBM for this
What do you mean? You still fill it up. Sabi niyo, hindi kayo mag-fill up. They're in the nature of unorganized courts.
Sir, it's categorized as an organized, but in the case sa budgeting po, we already released the funds for that. So it's on the it's on DOJ na po.
Anong waiting dyan? Yung appointment?
Yes
ano ba?
po sir.
Yan
Yes po
lang.
sir.
Oh, so put it down
So,
in your recommendation.
Sir, that's our recommendation po talaga na to fill up the unorganized courts first.
Ilan ba yung unorganized courts na hindi pa na-fill up?
As of now, sir, we have 381 unorganized courts based on our
So
last
this is
data.
going to add to that.
Yes po, sir.
And this is how many? 59.
Yes, sir.
381 plus 59. Ang kulang nyo, 87, di ba?
Our recommendation po.
So lalabas yan, 381 plus 87, hindi 59.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
So halos 500 na. Kaya, halos 500. Di ba, the last hearing, you heard me say, we should be ahead of the curve. Dapat nag-a-appoint na tayo, nag-agawa na tayo ng course para hindi madidelay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I need that position paper. All right, in the meantime, let's pass on to in accordance with the laws that were the bills that were approved in the lower house, para we can find out whether we can actually force the issue.
Yes,
So
sir.
saan tayo ngayon? I'm standing up because it's so cold. Tayo lang ba nag-hearing ngayon? Is somebody here from the Sergeant of Arms? Pakitanong mo nga kung patayin muna nila yung aircon, saka nalang buksan mamaya. People are gonna get sick here. So we're now on section SBN 298. Huh? SBN 298, one additional branch of RTC in my home province. Iba, Zambales. Combined caseload is 3 RTCs, no?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 3 organized RTCs in Iba, Zambales with a caseload of 1,916 as of May 2018.
So you recommend the creation
So-
of 3 courts?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. So that
Okay.
we can reduce the dockets of the court to 319 per branch.
Sorry?
319 per branch. So if we're endorsing the creation of 3 additional courts as opposed to the proposed number of the bill, which is 1 only, Your Honor.
So what do we do? Pagka ginawa yan, wala nang backlog.
Hopefully, Your Honor, because it still depends on the disposition rate of the judges.
Okay, sige.
That is also our recommendation for its House Bill counterpart, which is House Bill number 5907.
Saan yan?
Sa Iba, Zambales, Your Honor.
3 RTCs yan eh. SBN 298, di ba? House Bill number 5907, di ba?
Yes. They
Huh?
they pertain to the area, Your Honor.
Same bill nga yan eh.
Yes.
So you're recommending that?
You're recommending the same, sir.
Alright.
Yes.
No objection, same is approved. Ano ba? Alam ko kayo eh. Alright, for Iba, we're approved.
Yes. 3.
For Laguna, SBN 297, HBN 5903. 3 additional branches of RTC.
So,
Calamba City, Laguna. 5 RTCs in Calamba
yes, Your
City.
Honor. 5 organized RTCs, but there are 3 newly created courts that are still unorganized, Your Honor. So, in total, there are 8 existing RTCs in Calamba, Laguna, and the proposal is to add 3 more. And we are endorsing that proposal, Your Honor.
All right.
So, it would bring the number of RTCs in Calamba, Laguna to 11 RTCs.
To 11.
Yes. Next, Your Honors.
So, run that by me again. 8 ang existing.
Yes, Your Honor. 5 are organized, 3 are unorganized.
5 organized. 3 are not organized.
Yes, Your Honor. And the proposal is 3. additional of 3 courts.
Plus 3.
Yes, Your Honor.
So ilan total?
11 RTCs.
11.
Yes.
Okay. Same is approved. Ano yan?
Yes, sir.
Ay, ito wala nagmo-motion. Ako na nagmo-motion. Ako na nag-approve.
Okay. Your Honor, moving on to Senate Bill number 299 with its counterpart, House Bill number 5905, pertaining to Malabon. The proposal is to create 2 additional metropolitan trial courts, and we are endorsing such proposal, Your Honor.
Okay. The proposal is 2 additional courts composed of what? RTC or METC?
Metropolitan trial courts. Which brings it to a total of 5 METCs.
Okay. No objection. Same is approved.
Next, Your Honor, Senate Bill number 300 with its counterpart, House Bill number 5932, or MOC Leyte. The proposal is to create 2 courts, 2 regional trial courts, but our recommendation is the creation of 5 additional regional trial courts.
Total of?
A total of 8 RTCs, Your Honor.
Of 8, 4 or more.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. No objection. Same is approved.
Next, Your Honor, House Bill number 5906 pertaining to the proposal to create 1 RTC in Bungabong, Oriental Mindoro, and 4 municipal trial courts in Bansud, Gloria, Bulalakaw, and Mansalay, Oriental Mindoro. Your Honor, we are endorsing the proposal considering that in Bungabong, for example, the cases filed from Bungabong are covered by 2 RTCs in Pinamalayan, which is 47 kilometers away from the municipalities found in House Bill number 5906. So with the creation of another RTC and MTC, that would bring the courts closer to the people in those municipalities, Your Honor.
Ilan?
1 RTC in Bungabong, 1 MTC in Bansud, 1 MTC in Gloria, 1 MTC in Bulalakaw, and 1 MTC in Mansalay, Oriental Mindoro.
I don't see that here. Ulitin mo ngayon.
House Bill number 5906. Your
Yeah. 1 RTC ang nire-recommend nyo.
Yes, in Bungabong, Oriental Mindoro. The House Bill, Your Honor, pertains to
1.
5 municipalities in Oriental Mindoro. So in Bungabong, 1 RTC.
Yeah.
1 MTC in Bansud, 1 MTC in Gloria, 1 MTC in Bulalakaw, and 1 MTC in Mansalay. So, Your Honor, we are endorsing the proposal found in the House Bill.
Okay. No objection. Same is approved. Respect to Mindoro, no? Oriental.
Oriental, yes, sir. Next, House Bill number 5904, which proposes the creation of 2 regional trial courts in Batac, Ilocos Norte. We are also endorsing the proposal, Your Honor, the creation of 2 RTCs, which brings it to a total of 4 RTCs in Batac, Ilocos Norte.
Okay, 4 RTCs now.
Yes.
The addition of 2
Yes, sir.
in Batac,
Batac,
Ilocos Norte.
Ilocos Norte.
No objection. Same is approved.
House Bill number 3492 in Macabebe, Pampanga. The proposal is to create 3 additional regional trial courts, and we are likewise endorsing this recommendation, Your Honor, the creation of 3 additional RTCs.
Okay. Kanina, inaantok na ako.
Sir, dalawa na lang.
No objection. The same courts are approved in Batak.
Macabebe,
Macabebe, Pampanga.
House Bill number 3443 in Asingan, Pangasinan. The proposal is to create one RTC. We are also endorsing this proposal, considering that there is no existing RTC in Asingan, Pangasinan as of the moment, Your Honor.
Ilan?
One RTC, Your Honor.
Singan.
Yes. Cases from Asingan are actually covered by the RTCs in Ordaneta, which is 11 kilometers away from Asingan. So the creation of one RTC in Asingan would be beneficial, Your Honor.
Hmm?
That's it, Your Honor. For
Di-
House Bill
na-approve ko
number...
na?
Sir?
Na-approve ko na ba yan?
Not yet.
Di ba ano yan? Sa
Asingan, Pangasinan.
Asingan.
Yes.
Alright. For Asingan, Pangasinan, ilan na approve natin?
One, Your Honor.
One RDC.
Yes.
One RDC. Ayan, andito. nakalagay.
Lastly, Your Honor, House Bill number 198 in Baybay, Leyte. The proposal is to create one RTC. However, we are recommending the creation of two RTCs, which brings it to a total of 3 RTCs in Baybay, Leyte.
One old one, no?
Yes.
No objection for by later you recommended
Your Honor.
two additional RTCs, two MTCs,
RTCs, Your Honor.
RTCs, and one.
That's all, Your Honor. 2 RTCs only.
Okay. Dana?
That's all, Your Honor.
Dana? Having said all that, as pointed out earlier, all this will be recommended for approval, subject to the funds necessary for the operation of the court's hearing created shall be appropriated and released only upon the actual organization of the courts and the appointment of its personnel. ComSec, take note of that. All right, and give me a summary. I although expect the Megan Oka and COA, Office of the Court Administrator, as well as the budget to get together and submit a position paper on the matter of all these courts not being submitted on time for building because it's waiting for appropriations and filling up the positions. Okay, that note, this session is adjourned, the meeting is adjourned until Wednesday at 10 o'clock here. Wednesday, on the date? August 1. Thank you very much. Session is suspended until that day. Gawa nyo nga ako ng position paper dyan na napakarami pala yan. No? As of June 30, 2018, only 68. So ano magiging ngayon dito?
A fast track po yung...
Can you upgrade this? Sino nabigyan ng information? Oh, bigyan niyo ako. In addition to this now, with this, you add. Sige na, ilagay niyo. Dali na. Bigyan mo na kagad. Naantok na ako kanina pa. Sa ginaw. Terrible.